Hi, Serena.
Hi, how you
How
doing?
I'm good. It's been strange.
Not too shabby. Thanks for asking.
Oh, there's my,
Siri? Was it Siri?
yes,
It happens all the time.
I have an Australian male,
Uh-huh.
which is so much better than that woman, you know.
Uh-huh. Gotta
Gonna-
change it up. Change it up a little.
If I knew how to change stuff up, I would do so, but I'm techno challenged and I'm okay with that.
Well, you've updated that, so that's nice.
I called a friend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a strange year still.
It's been a lot. There's been a lot, that's for sure. And so I have everything's all different at my house right now. Yeah, it's like for everything that has been challenging, I just am like I will take any tiny bit of like goodness and just feel so blessed by that. Like, oh, thank goodness this one thing went right. Like,
Okay. Well,
so,
if I had your address, I'm fully vaccinated and boosted and I had breakthrough, so I would come over and hug you.
oh, I would
Seriously.
love that. I would love that. I need
Yeah.
hugs.
Where's your-
I'm in Jacksonville.
Okay. My
Yeah.
dentist is in Jacksonville.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Dr. Miller, Rex Miller. He's very
Oh,
good.
yeah. Yeah,
You know-
he's just around the corner from here.
Yay.
Yeah.
Hey.
But yeah, I kind of want to have like, I don't know. I keep on thinking about like, it would be nice to just have like a little get together and just like, I don't know, be around people. Like, I feel like that would be helpful, but I'm also like, when am I going to do that? Like, I have so many things I'm doing all the time. Like after this meeting, I have to go do a tour of the venue where we're going to have the celebration of life and everything. So,
Oh, yeah, that's exciting.
right. It'll be good.
Yeah. And tell me again who passed.
It's my mom. My mom
Oh,
passed
yeah.
away. Yeah.
Oh,
But
definitely come for hugs.
say that again.
I'm definitely going to come over for hugs.
Yeah. Yeah, so my mom passed away on the 20th, and then I'm guardian of my brother now. So he's 17 and we've been navigating that and it's been actually going pretty good. So
Wow.
yeah.
What a responsibility though.
It is. It's a lot. We're nervous. I'm nervous, but it's going good so far. So
Do you know Kathy Holmbeck? She's an attorney and she's been in this Rotary, but I haven't seen her since I've been back and been Zooming. There was, she and her mom lived together and she's Steve Rowe's sister-in-law.
Oh.
So there was a lady that they knew that was unhealthy that moved into their home to help take care of her and her son. Well, I mean, the son's got super challenges. I mean, evidently he can tell you anything and everything about rock and roll music, but not much else. And he had autism. He has no boundaries. But anyway, his mom passed away and he's still with Kathy. So might be somebody to, if you run into issues.
Right. That's a good thing. I'm trying to gather any resources that I can in terms of making sure that he's supported. And I'm so excited that Sally's on here today. He's interested in going into trades. My little brother, Sally. So there's the impact program through the high school. He's at North High. So I'm trying to convince him to get into that. We'll see.
Good.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved in any kind of political thing during Rotary, but I'll let you all know right now that Saturday I'll be at 6th and K with my banner and my recall petitions for county commissioners. So send your friends, come on down, please.
All
It's
right.
important. And again,
Mhm.
This is pre-meeting, right? Got it.
Yeah.
I can talk about
Unofficial.
fall. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right. John's gonna be there, right, John?
Listen, I just got back from Florida. I'm just found my home.
Quit trying to rope him into stuff. He's trying to get his bearings.
Yes.
Me, 6th and K Saturday after 11. It's important.
Hi,
I-
Patty Hansen.
Hi, Patty.
Hi. Hi,
I
everyone.
saw your gift come through, and I want to say thank you so much. That is so
Yeah,
generous and sweet of you. So thank you.
sending my love too.
Yeah.
It's a difficult
feel it.
time.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel surrounded by love, and that is awesome. So,
Okay, Serena, I'm not sure what we're talking about.
oh, I feel like I just need to send an email or something just so I can get everybody on the same page. So my mom passed away on the 20th. And so the reason why I was harassing you is because I'm taking over guardianship of my little brother. He's 17 and he's at North Medford High School in Medford, obviously, because that's North Medford High School. But and so it's been like really interesting because he's like he's super introverted, and so he's been talking like nonstop since he's been living with us. So it's been really awesome. But we've talked about what he might want to do when he's done with high school, and he's interested in trades. So I was
And
like,
I'm sorry,
wow.
because I'd only tuned into the very last of that when I heard you say Sally, because I was doing other things. So I am,
Great. No, it's perfectly
my
fine.
heart goes
Serena?
out to you with your mama.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Serena, get him involved with Project Youth Plus.
Right? Yeah, I'm trying to I guess there's the impact program through the high school. And
Yeah,
so
just call them and they'll be very responsive.
right. All right. Thank you. Yeah, I know these are the people to connect with in terms of like, I need a resource. Like, it'll be awesome.
And you're not afraid to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
As much as he's super introverted, I'm like, oh, okay. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi, Serena. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Were you asking about programs for your brother?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
These
Getting
are
him,
the people. Yeah.
he's starting to understand, like, oh, she'll get it figured out. Like, she knows who to talk to. And
Well, if you mentioned he was interested in going into the trades. If he ever has interest in working at a TV station, let me know. We'll bring him in and give him a tour and let him know some of the jobs we have.
awesome. I'll let him know.
Hey,
Nice.
Janie,
yes,
were you gonna stop by with those jackets?
yes, yes. I am at some point. Like maybe tomorrow, Lisa. I will try very hard. It's so crazy right now, but I will try really hard.
Well, no, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know I'm leaving tomorrow, probably about 1 o'clock. And I'll
Okay.
be out of town until Monday, so.
Maybe I can come this afternoon. Will you be around this afternoon?
Sure, I'll
Okay,
be here.
let's do that. I'll let's say 2-ish.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll be here.
thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Ho, ho, ho.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Oh.
Suzanne, are you on a treadmill? You
She's
go,
always on this treadmill.
Yeah, she's always on it.
don't waste a minute. Don't rest. Just stay, be a moving target at all times.
I live on it 24/7.
We got to give this girl another life. Good for you.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
That's what I should have said at the beginning of my newsletter. I worked from the bottom up of the newsletter on the e-navigator, and I noticed, whoops, I was talking about the end of the year, but it should have said Happy New Year.
I did notice that, Steve. I was confused, but that's okay. I figured it out
Yeah,
eventually.
the bottom
January
part-
6th date.
After you got past the first paragraph, everything was okay, I hope.
Well, it's nice to know other people do those things too.
That's right. I realized it just as soon as I pressed the send. Oh,
It's all good.
Yeah.
You're forgiven.
Definitely forgiven. Although I was believing that it was the last meeting in 2021, I thought,
Yeah.
really?
or April Fools, one of the two.
December Fools.
Yeah. Okay. Well, looks like it's high noon, so I'll mute everybody. Okay. So welcome to our Road Gateway meeting, Rotary meeting for first year, the December or January 1st and the 6th of January, all that. Happy New Year. Jody, would you like to start us off with a pledge, please?
I would.
Thank
Please
you.
follow. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Jody. Bonnie, do you have some information that might inspire us for the new year?
I do. It was kind of perfect. That's why I went ahead and jumped in. I don't know if you can see this, but I just finished this book. It's called Big Magic, and it's by Elizabeth Gilbert, and she wrote Eat, Love, Pray, or Eat, Pray, Love, whatever it was, if you read it. But she's also a very inspiring speaker and writer. And I'm going to read what she wrote in conclusion, then I'll explain why I think this is inspirational for us, but I'll be quick. Creativity is sacred and it is not sacred. What we make matters enormously and it doesn't matter at all. We toil alone and we are accompanied by spirits. We are terrified and we are brave. Art is a crushing chore and a wonderful privilege. Only when we are at our most playful can divinity finally get serious with us. Make space for all these paradoxes to be equally true inside your soul, and I promise you can make anything. So please calm down now and get back to work, okay? The treasures that are hidden inside you are hoping you will say yes. I found this inspirational because she's talking about writing, but other forms of art. But problem solving is also an art form, in my opinion, and the things that we do to make life better. So creativity is in all of us, and we are inspired when we're our most playful. So that is what I will leave you with.
Well, thank you so much. Those are good words to leave us with. Visiting Rotarians. Are there any visiting Rotarians at our meeting today or guests? Okay, well, if you would see anybody, feel free to reach out to anybody if you are a guest. Some people don't want to step out, and that's entirely okay. But a member of the engagement committee might also reach out to you to make sure that if you have any questions about our club. So for our Rotary Minute today, January is vocational month for Rotary. And I thought my Rotary Minute would be about that. It's about being the object of Rotary is about vocational service. And it's a philosophical statement of Rotary's purpose and the responsibilities of us as Rotarians. The concept of vocational service is rooted in the second object, which is called on to Rotarians to encourage others. And these objectives are to encourage and foster the high ethical standards of business and professions, to recognize the worthiness of all useful occupations, to dignify the Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society, and to apply the ideal of service in our business, in our personal, and our community life, and to advance international understanding and goodwill and peace through a world fellowship of business people, professional men and women united in the ideal of service. Paul Harris wrote, "Each Rotarian is a connecting link between the idealism of Rotary and their trade or profession. Vocational service is the way Rotary fosters and supports the application of the ideal of service to the pursuit of all vocations." And during January, Rotarians are encouraged to focus on this important avenue of Rotary service. Discussions on vocational service can lead to projects that not only develop an ethical consciousness and vocational skills of Rotarians, but also the talents of our communities. It's an opportunity to begin a year-long vocational service activities ranging from Rotary discussions, awards, and community projects. And we're going to start our Rotary year off in just a little bit by our first program being a vocational. But we'll get to that. Let's see. In our club, is I know that we talked about having a meeting or having a poll to discuss the possibilities of having in-person meetings starting on February 1st. And I just don't see that really as a possibility. So I don't see because of these numbers that are increasing, we kind of wonder what was going to happen after the holidays. And unfortunately, I think we've seen an increase in numbers. So what I think we're going to do is look at it for March 1st. We're going to look at it on a monthly basis, but I just can't see our club safely meeting at All Care on February 1st. So I'm not going to do a poll, but we're always keeping our options open. But unfortunately, COVID kind of rules the day with us right now. Any questions on that?
Steve, I would, like being a sergeant of arms, I would suggest that if we do open February the 1st and do have an active meeting, we can actually ask our members who has been vaccinated and who hasn't, and we could seat those that haven't been vaccinated in their own table. That would help.
One of the things that we talked, it's a good question, we talked about as a board, and when we do meet in person, which I don't think will be on February 1st, I just don't see with those numbers, it would have to be too much of a decline. We're probably going to require that people be vaccinated to attend the meeting in person.
Okay.
And that would be the safest way. And it wouldn't be a case of proving it. It would be the Rotary 4-way test of just making sure that our fellow members are vaccinated in the room. One of the things I think that above for our club that we have to do is we have to put safety first.
Right.
And so what we're just by making it safe, we wanted, we'd require masking, we'd require everybody to be vaccinated to attend an in-person meeting. The people that chose not to be vaccinated, of course, vaccination is a personal choice, could still attend, obviously, on Zoom.
All right.
Patty. I think you might be on mute. Patty, you're on mute.
Hi. Why would you be open to asking for verification of vaccinations? I mean, if we're all vaccinated and we're proud of the fact that we're vaccinated, and I would be happy to show my proof of vaccination. I'm just scared of the possibility of being around someone that isn't vaccinated.
And everything's open for a discussion right now. I know that one of the things we talked about is and showing that might be a possibility. I think the difficulty comes in at each meeting of the amount of time it might take. And I think, but we'll definitely take your point under consideration as far as when it becomes having an in-person meeting of setting kind of our parameters, our norms for the meeting. So definitely food for thought. But the main thing I want to kind of inform our club on is that as of right now, we will not have the February 1st opening in-person meetings. but it'll
Okay.
be Zoom for the month of February.
You can mute me again.
Pardon? Okay. Some of the things I want to talk about for February, just the amazing things that are going on in our club. And you can read more about them in the newsletter this week. But some of the accomplishments we had a 2022, 2023, our club officer election was held. The Beacon Hill tree plant was completed. We had our Rotary Reads on High Conflict book. The Porch Fest funds are being distributed right now, but that consisted of Youth Plus for $5,600, CASA $4,200, Family Solutions $4,200. We had the Josephine County Food Bank sorting, the backpack distribution. Boundary Village is operating fully now. We had a warming shelter in Grants Pass on New Year's Eve, and one of the Loudon in Texas. Tommy, do you want to talk a little bit about Loudon? That's an interesting story, I think, about Afghanistan.
Sure. You bet. I'd be happy to. He was a global grant scholar in the water studies program, and it's all of the students were from the Stans area and they worked as cohorts. They were in 3 different colleges. He never got to come here or we would have met him, but we did meet him in a Zoom meeting back in June. In any way, some of what was going on in Afghanistan since the US government pulled out of there, it was very scary to many of the Afghans, and Loudon, as an educated person, was in great danger, and he has now managed somehow, I'm not sure how, I mean, we helped, we wrote another grant that got him to be able to apply and get a student visa. So he flew on Sunday to College Station, Texas, and my son that is a college or is an A&M graduate picked him up, and Loudon has been meeting with his counselors. He's found an apartment that they got approved for. He's connected with the Rotary Club down there, and it's just, I'm so grateful he's not in Afghanistan anymore. And his wife came with him. So thank you.
Well, thank you for all you did, Tommy. I know you were a big help in making that successful. And I think it's a case of, you know, we can't absolutely probably do everything for everyone, but we can do something for somebody. In that case, there made a difference for one person. So thank you for your efforts on that. Valerie, do you want to give
And Jan helped.
Jan, oh, that's right. Yep. And also in our district, District 5110 was a big help as well. It didn't happen
Absolutely.
by
Chuck Ruth of Ashland ought to just, he's great.
Okay. Valerie, City Council update.
Yeah, those are wonderful stories. Thank you, Tommy. That was very encouraging and nice to hear. Kind of scary over there now. Yeah, we kind of took a hiatus over the vacation, over the Christmas, which was kind of a nice little break. We did indeed, the City Council asked that we run a warming shelter on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And many of you, thank you for your help on that and getting that to run. So that happened at the high school. So that was good. Just for your information, there still is, UCAN is working with Rogue Retreat on getting a signature on a contract signed for a warming shelter. So there is work being done besides the work of the City Council to get that. I'm anxiously waiting to see when that's up, but I do know that they're working, UCAN's working on that warming shelter. And then the urban campground, we continue to talk about. I know that we have been in touch and talking with Doug Walker and Jeff. We talked at All Care Foundation this last week to try to get the contract worked out so that we could go forward. I don't expect that will open this year, but I think it did take 3 years for Ashland to get theirs together. So I do a little deep breathing and recognize that, you know, to do it right and have it set up to make sure that we have people running it that know what they're doing is important. So we are going to have a talk on Monday. I know some of the counselors want to talk about setting up some of the pallet shelters that are in storage right now on a city site somewhere. So that's a discussion that we will have at our coming Monday meeting workshop. Second thing, or that you can, warming shelters big. Then another thing we had a summary of survey results, and I know Debbie Brownell was interested to see, because one of the things we've talked about is making G Street one way, trying to make more of a plaza area somehow downtown. That's been in the works. We are getting ready to put a second survey out to businesses downtown about parklets, how serious they are about putting in some permanent parklets downtown for more outdoor dining. And then we also have a task force that we are building for Caveman Plaza to see what can be done with that, because it's all within our urban renewal district, which, slowly the money is building up, and we can actually loan against that as well, take a loan out or a bond to do some serious upgrades to the downtown area. So we have a task force, which if you're interested in that, you're willing to apply to be a part of it. We're looking for developers, any citizens, any downtown people, anybody who has a passion for the downtown area and would like to see it, what can be done with it. That they're putting that together in this next month, and you can go to the city website for that. So I think that's pretty much that. I do want to say thank you for those of you who helped also with the tree planting in December. And we have our strategic planning this month in January, the 20th through 22nd. And that's when all the counselors get together and the staff, and we put ourselves down at the public safety building, and we talk about priorities. What are the priorities for this coming year? And so any input you want to give me, feel free to give that to me. We have had a forum. We've all, as counselors, put down our priorities, and it's just a great opportunity for us to talk about, the direction that we'll be taking into next year. So I always appreciate any input that I can get. And John Jones, I see your hand up.
Can you hear me okay?
I can now, yes.
Good. I want to relay a story that happened to my wife yesterday. She was walking downtown, and a little old man hobbled up and said, "Do you know where I can use a restroom?" And she didn't know. And a few minutes later, she'd been wandering around, and she saw him back in an alley peeing on a bush. I thought we had restrooms set up.
We do actually have, well, the Welcome Center. The Welcome Center has a restroom. And right now, if you just go into the Welcome Center and ask, they will give you the key to use the restroom in the Welcome Center. There is also, I think there's still some porta potties out there behind the Welcome Center. We have ordered Portland Loos. We have 2 of them. Right. We're not exactly sure where we're going to get them. We haven't gotten them yet, but there is currently the Welcome Center would be the place to go. And there are restrooms there. If you would rather not use an outhouse, all you have to do is walk in the door and ask for a key, and they'll give you the key to use that. So that's where we are right now. We are looking at having more put in the back of the Welcome Center. We're having an architect see if that's an option.
Good. It would be a good suggestion that the merchants would have a sign. This was something my wife came up with. If the merchants would have a sign, restrooms available at whatever.
I agree. That should be there. So I definitely get that. Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Any other questions? Jim.
I just want to share some information. St. Luke's Episcopal Church at the corner of 4th and D actually budgeted 2 years ago and this year as well. And I think we've done it for, a year and a half or so, maybe 2. We have a portalet behind the church along the alley. There's no sign, advertising it, but it's essentially, it's for people who, who need it. So there's one basically on the alley at 4th and D, right behind St. Luke's Church.
Okay. That's great to know. And I will tell you that when the bus hub gets built, there will also be bathrooms available at that location. So we're working on it. We do recognize the importance of it. I love the sign idea too, because that's a simple thing to let people know. Okay, any other questions? All right, was that, Kelly.
Hi, so I really like hearing what Jim had to say and what you're saying about these places that are available for restrooms. But could the city council maybe give some information in a sign like John is saying? But it's nice that the merchants could do it, but there should be a sign that says, here are where the facilities are available. Okay,
I would agree with you. And I think that probably that will happen. We're kind of in limbo because we have ordered the Portland loos. We do know that they're should be delivered anytime. That will, I think the second place we chose for the Portland loo was down on the Duck parking lot, which is down on 7th and G, I believe. So once that they're established, definitely. But in the meantime, I think you're right. We need to put something at the Welcome Center. And I am kind of surprised that the merchants didn't know that. So that's good information. And I will pass that along. Okay, I don't see any other hands. And with that, Steve, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that update. You know, there's so many good things going on in our community, in our club. You look about all that was accomplished in December and what's going on for 2022. Appreciate everyone's effort on that. Greg, would you like?
I just one quick thing, Steve, I'm going to jump in and say, because last night at our meeting, we did come up with the new council president. And I want to say Joel King was elected our council president for this upcoming year. And he has actually shown an interest of perhaps coming to this Rotary. So I will put a personal invitation out and have him come visit. So there we go. Now it's up to you.
Okay. You know, this idea is true for Joel, but if anybody wants to check us out on a, not necessarily attend the meeting, but we can put them on a newsletter list, the club newsletter list. All you have to do is email me the email address. I don't like to add people without their permission, obviously, because I don't want it to be seen as spam, but something that people do want. So if anybody has any people that they would like to add to the newsletter list, and of course, they're always free. Constant contact makes it real easy to drop themselves at any time. Okay, let's see, Greg, Super Bowl update.
Thank you, Steve. We have only 53 left at this price. We have 47 squares taken, and there was, I think, a little bit of a break during the holidays, but the complete instructions are in both the Navigator and an email that I sent out about a month ago. I will maybe update that and resend it just so that the message is close to the top of your mailbox. Otherwise, today's Navigator has the steps. For newer members, just to remind you, we run the Super Bowl pool as a way of attaining what we call E-Ray status every Rotarian every year. And if we can get a $25 donation to the Rotary Fund, to the Rotary Foundation annual fund, then we can achieve that status as a club. Further, if we can average $100 instead of just the minimum 25, there's another level which is called E-Ray 100. So we've attained that status about 3 times. We've attained E-Ray status about, I think, 6 out of the last 8 or so years. So it's something that we do try to do, and one of the ways we do it is through the Super Bowl pool. So basically, when you make a donation, you register it with me and Gina Marie, our foundation chair, and we cross-reference to make sure we've counted everything correctly. And we have a random assignment program that we assign the squares for. When we meet in person, we let you sign up for your favorite corners and whatnot. But we have a random assigner, that computer program that will give the squares to the people that have quote unquote purchased them. So you get them for your donation. You also get point matches. So just to finish this announcement, point matches, you can get a Paul Harris Fellow Award for a combination of dollars donated and points assigned. So we have a special incentive this year where if you donate between $25 and $100, you will have points, 25 to 100 points matched according to those donations. So in effect, it doubles your progress toward a Paul Harris Fellow Award, which requires 1,000 combined points or dollars donated. And the winner of the Super Bowl pool does get a Paul Harris Fellow Award. So hopefully it's a lot of fun, and we'll try to do something with a virtual watch party. We normally pass out slips of paper that tell you who's advertising, and if you have the slip of paper for the company that's advertising after the first advertisement of the break, then you get a door prize. So we'll try to figure out some way to make a parallel effort for that and have a fun game on February 13th. So That means that the deadline would be about February 11th, so we can get all the squares assigned and get everything else straightened out. So if you have a question, drop me an email or a text message, and I'll be happy to answer. Thanks very much.
I know a guy that's going to be an old man on February 13th.
1 year older. Well, thank you, Greg. And I think the other thing too, to always keep in mind with the Rotary Foundation or our own club or the RG Foundation, the Road Gateway Foundation, is just the opportunity to make a difference in the world. And it's so great to have E-Ray, and I totally believe in but more importantly than that, I believe, is the opportunity to help out with service projects around the world and to help people leave Afghanistan, for example, that one person. And we can't do everything for everybody, but we can certainly help a lot of people. And you consider the work that Rotary's done with polio and COVID and that type of thing, the difference that the foundation has made in the world and the way that they invest our dollars wisely. That also means a great deal to me for the communities, why it should be supported as well. Thank you.
And I might quickly add that after 3 years of making earnings in the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund, those monies come back to our district and then they're redistributed in grants. And we every year have at least one grant. Foundry Village has had, I think, a couple, and we've used that money to further our projects. So there's no better leverage.
Absolutely. Thank you. Also, I'd like to welcome a new member today to our club, Randa Chatfield. She's joining our membership. And, one of the things is always, she looks forward to meeting all of us in person and the different service projects. So, Randa, welcome to our club and
Miranda.
all that you do.
Sorry, Steve, it's Miranda, just so everybody.
Miranda, okay, excuse me. I see that, but I mispronounced it. Sorry. Thank you. So welcome, Miranda. Miranda? Okay, thank you. Okay, so our speaker for today is Parke Kallenberg. And Parke, would you like to, as a new member of vocational, talk about what you're involved in your life, your vocation, your Rotary projects?
Sure, I'll be glad to, Steve. And I've got a little bit of a slideshow if I can share my screen. See if this will work.
You did it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get to slideshow here. From the beginning. Okay, so I'll try to keep this under 30 minutes. I'm teasing. It's hard to follow the last one. I'm Parke. I'm Bonnie's husband. That's how most people know me. And glad to be part of Rotary. Bonnie and I joined just, I guess, 6 months ago or so. Really, just a quick little background. My mom and dad were big in music and that kind of thing. So I grew up dancing and singing a little bit, and even got to date Bonnie at an early age. That's us dancing in a play for our fraternity in college. So we always had fun with that, and life was pretty good. And early in my life, sports were a big part of it. Grew up in Georgia, so to play on an ice hockey team for a high school team, there was 2 ice hockey teams in the whole state. So we knew each other pretty well. We played each other every week. But I played a little softball, played a lot of tennis. I played tennis in college and grew up water skiing. And then Bonnie and I loved to snow ski. And one of the things that was really nice, as we had children, I started coaching sports, coached both our kids for about 8 years. And that was a big part of my life. And one of the things that's really been special for Bonnie and I is we're playing pickleball now. And Grants Pass in the area has a huge pickleball association. We're hoping maybe to get y'all to come play sometime, because it's a wonderful way to meet new people and maybe invite them into Rotary. But life is good, and life keeps getting better for me. That's when Bonnie and I got married, and we just celebrated our 40th anniversary. We actually took a trip along the Oregon coast, and it was just a really good time. And I probably have had 2 great accomplishments in my life. The second one being getting Bonnie to marry me. The first one being to get her to stay with me for 40 years. but she's a good partner. And of course, through that, we've had our family that brought us here to Oregon. There's the whole gang, the first house we moved into over on Dietrich. And then this is my son and my daughter and us on the farm, and Bonnie and I enjoying a little bit of golf in the area. And of course, with that, you saw this last time with Bonnie's presentation, but our daughter is an author and very involved in horses. And we have the wonderful thing of being able to live on property with them. I hope they think it's wonderful too. So we get to interact with the kids a lot and see them. And my son actually lives out in Hawaii. He and his wife are very active in outdoor sports, and we don't get to see them quite as often, but we talk to them on a regular basis. Hope to go see them in April. But for here, and for probably most of us on the call, it's really all about the grandkids. If you could skip your own kids and go straight to grandkids, we probably would, even though we love our children. And we like to take them on adventures. Sometimes it means traveling back to the lake, or sometimes it's beauty parlor day, as you see on the bottom there. They wanted to dress Pappy up and make me beautiful. So that was the result. Don't know how beautiful I was, but the smiles were actually wonderful. But through all that, I did actually have a vocation. I've worked in the green industry for about 37 years. And the green industry is the landscape industry. A lot of people don't understand what a large industry it is. To give you a rough idea, we're roughly 30 times the size of the airline industry. Yeah. If you ever want somebody goes, well, I just don't know where I can find a good career. The landscape industry is a fantastic career. I've been here a long time, and no, I'm not a horticulturalist. I was really on the people side. I grew people. And my job through all the years was really building a succession plan where we could take new employees and move them up through the ranks and have them take on more responsibility and be able to take care of their families better and influence other people more. The main companies I work for is Valley Crest, which was the largest in the world. And then we were bought. I got laid off and started a little bit of a consulting company. And the people that originally owned Valley Crest started the Sperber company, who I work for now. So the legacy continues. And one of the things I get to do is I'm a guest lecturer and adjunct professor at Auburn and guest lecturer at Colorado State University, talking to the horticultural students and the business students about the industry. To put it in perspective a little bit, everybody on the call has probably heard of Coca-Cola and Pepsi, the behemoths in the soft drink industry. They have 42-43% of the market share each. The largest company in the landscape industry at $2.5 billion has less than 3% of the market share. It's a huge industry and just a wonderful place to work. I've been very fortunate, met a lot of great people. And the thing that brings me probably the most joy in my life is as I go to these new places, the company I work for now, we are buying and consolidating companies. I meet people who have gone through our training programs in the past and seen where they've come from, maybe a high school education, college education, or another company. And now they have really grown in their lives. They're doing what they enjoy the most, because it's really all about growing people. And that's what I enjoy the most. I did learn a little bit about landscapes. That's our lake house in Georgia on the left. And I'm sort of a turf person. I don't like anybody to touch my grass but me. I mow it, I take care of it. That's the way it works. But on the right, you see a wall that Bonnie and I built ourselves. And Bonnie did a lot of the hard work. I'm the thinker. Yeah. But we enjoy doing that together, and we're still enjoying working on our house here in Grants Pass and trying to make it as nice as we can. But through all that, I always traveled for work, and Bonnie and I, as much as traveling for work is a little bit of a headache, traveling with Bonnie, traveling together has always been a load of fun, and we get to go a lot of different places. I fly so much that Delta actually allowed me to sit in one of their simulators and fly a 737 for about 20 minutes. And that was a lot of fun. It's flying, it's a lot easier than driving it on the ground, I learned. It is a great experience. It's a thing on my bucket list without having to leave the ground doing it. A little more about what I enjoy. I do enjoy singing. I'm not very good at it. I'm not terrible. I'm not good. Was very involved in our church choir, and Bonnie even joined me in the church choir for some of the Christmas cantatas we did. And some of our older relatives joined us. Bonnie's mom didn't sing with us, but Bonnie's dad used to sing with us before he passed. So it was a wonderful experience for all of us. And I've always enjoyed singing and dancing. In fact, that sort of got me into theater, which is another thing I do a little bit. I've taken a little bit of a break over the last 4 or 5 years, but I'm actively rehearsing for a play now in Georgia. But always have a good time. Don't mind the picture in the top right corner. That was a play. It wasn't me going out grocery shopping or anything. And a couple of plays I've actually gotten to be in with my son or my daughter. My son was in Joseph with me. He's in the circle in the bottom, and I'm just above him. And then my daughter was in a play with me also with another group. And one of the things that I've done most of my life is I've done magic. Started when I was 8 years old. I'm a member of the Academy of Magical Arts, otherwise known as the Magic Castle. I've done a couple of shows there. Enjoy doing shows for free. The thing that brings me the most joy is teaching a group of kids how to do a show with the agreement that they will go do a show for a retirement home or children's home or their classmates, because I want them to learn that it really is just practice and discipline. There's no special powers or magic to it. It's not about fooling people. It's about making people laugh. And if I can do that, I have a good time with it. Bonnie and I are fortunate enough. We've been very fortunate in our lives, and our house in Georgia has sort of become not only a place we go for quiet time, but a place that we can offer to other people and reach out and build relationships where people get to do things maybe they normally wouldn't get to do. Like Bonnie said in her presentation last month, we have a lot of good, close people that work for Bonnie, or we've gotten to know through the refugee programs or working for Bonnie, and having them at the lake and watching the sheer joy they have just in learning to get in the water. The gentleman in the bottom picture was scared to death of the water. And I'm WSI, I'm a very good swimmer, and I put a life jacket on him, and I put on a life jacket. I said, look, trust me, hold on to me, jump in, let's do this. And he tried to drown me the first little bit. Thank goodness I knew how to spin him around and get him on his back. And 2 hours later, he was jumping in the water by himself, which was just huge to see something like that happen, to see him build that kind of confidence. Or we would build relationships where we get some of the guys, take them to a soccer match in Atlanta. And actually one of the guys on the Atlanta United team was from one of the villages that one of the guys with me was from. So it's really neat letting them see professional soccer in the States and see somebody from their home village. But for Bonnie and I, just giving back and finding a way to enhance other people's lives has been very important to us. So Grants Pass and frankly, the Rotary Club has given us that venue. We enjoyed working at Valerie Village very much. Bonnie was there more than I was because of my travel schedule. We enjoyed working at the food bank. In fact, the last thing the Rotary Club did at the food bank was very rewarding. A lot of people showed up from Rotary. We got a lot done, and it was a lot of fun. So we're enjoying doing this. We're enjoying getting to know you and hope to get to know everybody better and find more ways to serve. For me, it's pretty simple, simple philosophy. Learn something every day and teach something every day, and you'll have a full life. And the Japanese have a saying, to teach is to learn twice. And that's, I fail at that sometimes, but hopefully that's what I try to go by. So Steve, that's that's my little spiel, and that's about all I can say. So thank you for meeting me. I hope you can know everybody else a little better in the future.
Okay. Well, thank you. Are there any questions? I know I personally enjoyed getting to know you and Bonnie on the various service projects that you've been involved with in our community and some of the club fellowship. And you've really stepped in and gotten involved even before becoming a member. So thank you for that.
We're trying.
No, you're doing it extremely well. I was interested in vocational presentations because you learn so much about new members and what their interests are. Bev, it looks like you have a question or a comment.
I forgot to ask Park, we saw him the other, or yesterday or day before, but what play are you doing in currently?
Clue, like the game, but the play is actually much better than the movie. The movie is a little slow. The play is pretty funny. We hope. Steve, the other thing I'll throw out is I'm speaking at a national convention in a few weeks, and I've already told our company all about Rotary and how it's a worldwide organization, and several of the partner companies have jumped in pretty heavy. I'm hoping to get some of our companies in the industry to follow suit because they don't understand the reach that Rotary has and what they do to help people find careers and become adept at careers.
You know, it's so true. One of the things that Rotary has available now, and you know, they're adapting to new ways of becoming of service clubs and memberships, is what they call satellite clubs. And I don't know if that would ever be an opportunity, but it's, for example, a club could have a club meeting, and then they get a satellite club at somewhere else, whether it be a school, workplace, that type of thing. There's just a lot of different opportunities now. Instead of the same cookie cutter approach that Rotary's had for many years, they're adapting to this new way of trying to do things differently and meeting people where they are. John Jones has a question.
Yeah, Park, I can tell by your voice that you ain't from around here.
You have an accent.
And down there, is there a folk dance that has a name, and are you going to demonstrate it for us?
Actually, I'm much better at Jitterbug. Bonnie and I do okay at the Lindy and Jitterbug. If you're going to ask for a dance that's typical in Atlanta, Bonnie helped me out. But clogging is probably the closest you could come to something very traditional to the South.
Okay.
Which I can't do.
Well, we have a huge hip hop population, but I don't think Park and I are very adept at it.
No.
My question was really about some kind of folk dancing, and
yeah,
you hit on it there.
Yep.
Any other questions? Looks like some good comments in the chat about ideas for the future. It'd be nice to do those things when we're able to meet again in person. So
I'll warn you. I'll warn you, if you want a magic show, it means you will be involved.
Audience participation.
Oh, no, you'll be on stage.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. So we have quite a few birthdays and anniversaries. Nicole Sellinger's was January 5th. Greg Fishwick, January 10th. Claudia Sullivan, January 11th. Carla Robertson, January 12th. And Gina Marie joined our club on January 2nd, 2008. She's been a member for 14 years. And also Kathy, well, I can also say Christy Holmbeck. Kathy Holmbeck has her birthday today, so happy birthday. And of course, she's a sister to my wife. They're twins. And so I know another person with the same birthday as today. Okay. So I believe right now it is time for Sergeant at Arms. Happy Bucks. Jenny, I believe you're the Sergeant at Arms for this month.
I don't believe that she's in attendance.
I see. I was just going on the list there, and I don't see her name.
I can fill in for her.
Great.
Steve.
Thank you.
I promised her anyway. That's good. And Happy Bucks, I like to start out myself. I just got back from Fort Lauderdale, went to Tennessee, all the most contagious places you can be. Thank God I'm feeling good still. Everything's okay. And it was a lovable time, and 84 degrees for the whole time I was in Florida, between 82 and 84 degrees. I couldn't believe that. That was better than Phoenix, Arizona from last year. But anyway, it was very nice. Anybody else? Let's go. Oh, Deborah, go ahead.
Hi there. Happy New Year, everybody. I have 10 Happy Bucks. John, you, Fritz, and I were hanging around the same area. We were down in Atlanta to watch the Peach Bowl, and we watched Michigan State win. Our granddaughters are both Michigan State students, and so we were with the family and had a blast. Great time. So my Happy Bucks are for that great trip. Park and Bonnie gave us some great suggestions of things to do, and we took them up on it and had a delightful time. And then, as you say, that's a very contagious world out there. We found out during the trip that our son and his family had stopped to visit one of their relatives in Carbondale, Illinois, and found out that they were positive for COVID while we were in Atlanta. And so they were all then sort of under quarantine, but we'd already been there with them for 2 days. So Fritz and I were kind of on pins and needles until yesterday, and we took our test and we were both negative. So it's an interesting, this new world, the things that we're grateful for. And it's certainly the celebration and fun stuff, but then it's also those health related things. So Happy New Year. And yeah, here's to being healthy. Thanks. Oh, and Park, nice job. I love it. I love your presentation. And Steve Rowe, I love your humility. I love the fact that you said you hope that our program was better than the introduction of your newsletter. And I thought, what a perfect example of leadership, of not being perfect. I love it. Here's to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Pat, go ahead.
I have 20 Happy Bucks to say thank you to Steve and Doug, and also to Valerie for the warming shelter, for the opening up, getting the high school all done and helping out with that. I was out of town, but thank you. I know Valerie's been instrumental in getting it, pushing it along the way, and both of you for helping. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. Gina Marie, I can't see the whole screen. So do you have anybody out there?
Tommy has one.
Tommy, I see Tommy.
Yeah.
Hi,
Go ahead, Tommy.
I'd like to, okay, thanks. I'd like to give $25 because Luden, who now needs to be called Nagy, anyway, that's what my son says. Anyway, I'd like to give whatever I just said to the club because he got out. It's just incredible to me. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
I've got I guess a sad buck and maybe some happy bucks too. So my story is I'm going to build an apartment above my garage this summer. And in order to prepare for that, my sad bucks are that I have to clean out my garage. And it's amazing how much crap can get squirreled away in a garage. It's stunning. And screwed to everything too. Everything's screwed to the walls. But the happy bucks is my sister lives a couple doors away and she's got an empty garage. I get to put everything in.
Serena, go ahead.
I wanted to give some happy bucks just because you guys are so amazing. So some of you guys already know, because I've been talking about it, but so my mother passed away on the 20th of December. And it's been so crazy. I have now a 17-year-old in my home, my little brother, who is just, things have been going so amazing with him. And I am counting every single tiny blessing that comes my way. I'm just like holding on to it as being precious. And you guys are such a huge blessing in that way. I just feel so surrounded by support and love. And even though things are difficult and challenging and unknown, you guys are awesome. And you've stepped up and you've shown up, and you do that not just for me, but for so many people. And you guys are incredible. So thank you so much for that. And thank you. I get to see Doug on Sunday. He's going to come check out this, like, we have a shed. It's a building in the back of the property that we've always called it a shed, but we're hoping to turn it into an additional dwelling unit. And he's going to help see if that's a thing that we can do. So thank you so much, Doug. You're amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing you. And yeah, thank you all for your love. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Serena, for the personal information. Greg, go ahead.
I have a couple of happy bucks for our newer members. First of all, of course, Miranda, welcome to the club. And we know that you'll have a lot to add. And we're really proud of it, as you can tell, of all the things that we do together. So I appreciate that. And I really enjoyed getting to know Parke a little bit better from the vocational presentation. And also, I want to give him and Bonnie credit for sort of being among those pioneers who can be a member of one club, but live in 2 or 3 different places. So we appreciate that novelty and that we're able to be connected. Some more happy bucks for my wife Margaret's recovery from back surgery. She's been about a week now and starting to stretch out her pain medication a little bit. And today she's going to be putting away Christmas decorations. So you can tell she's getting antsy.
Thank you, Greg. Claudia?
Oh, well, Greg beat me to it. I wanted to contribute 10 happy bucks because I'm very happy that Margaret is recovering from her back surgery smoothly. And she led our book club with the book Nomadland the other night. She couldn't join us, but she was sort of laying back and made perfect sense no matter what kind of painkiller was going on. We totally enjoyed her and we're happy that she's doing well.
Thank you, Claudia. Margaret, go ahead. I see your hand. Are you live?
Yes, my hand's up and I'm here in body and spirit, but
Good.
I want you to look at me right now. So I have 10 happy bucks, 5 for all my wonderful friends who've been so supportive and helping us with meals, and 5 for my little house elf, Greg, who is waiting on me hand and foot. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Margaret. Bonnie? Let's see.
I have 22 happy bugs for 2022 and all that we hope to accomplish in this new year.
Thank you. Anybody else? I can't see nobody else. Gina, do you see any?
I see Steve.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah. As I started listing all the accomplishments that our club did in December, and you consider maybe December we only had 2 meetings in December, and all the things that our club did, it just amazes me. It helped so many people. It involved our club members, and it's just one thing kind of after another, and everything came together so well. And I just want to thank the members for all they did, the leadership to make these things happen for the betterment of others in our community. I am so truly grateful. You make being president easy of our club.
Gina, do you see anybody else?
I don't.
Did Bonnie talk? Bonnie's got her hand up.
I think she was just lowering her hand from before.
Okay.
Those are all the hands I see.
Back to you, Steve. Thank you.
Okay. I think, as I was thinking about different thoughts for the week, the one thing I thought about is the way, and Rotary is not about politics, but it's regarding January 6th. And one of the things that you'll know about, I hope you know about me, is that I always try and take the positive approach to things. And so it's a quote from the week, but and I actually don't even know who wrote it, but I thought it said so well about what our purpose can be as Rotarians. Rotary refuses to accept conflict as a way of life. Rotary projects provide training to foster understanding and provide communities with the skills to resolve conflicts. And communities, that can be so many things. It can be our club, it can be our state, it can be our country, and it can be our world, it can be our family. Communities can be as large or as small as we want it to be. But I just want to say thank you to make this thing happen, so that we don't have high conflict, and all that we can do to provide understanding for others and look at other people's points of view and what we can do to have peace in the world. So with that, our meeting is adjourned. And I would like to have just a quick, I'll call it a stand-up board meeting. I don't know, everybody can still stay seated down for the board members, and anybody else, if there's welcome to stay on. We need approval for Laurel to write a check. And then after the quick board meeting, we'll go right into fellowship time, additional fellowship time, if anybody has anything. So have a great week, everyone. Meeting adjourned.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I better check out.
Need a motion, Steve?
I do.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Laura to write the check.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Tommy, did you get everything you need?
I'm not exactly sure who all's here for the board meeting, and so I'll do that while we're doing the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
So I got the
Thank you
move
for that.
second passed. Yes, I did.
Okay. So motion passed. Meeting adjourned.
Yeah.
Okay, back to regular scheduled fellowship time.
Hey, I've got a question.
Sure.
Yeah, I was wondering, is anybody in the club going to Houston for the international besides me?
Gina Marie might be a candidate because the past president sometimes goes, but you're not going.
Yeah, I'm going.
No, I'm not traveling yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question, Steve. What about the in-person meetings at All Care? Did you want any more discussion on that? That was on your agenda.
I'm open to suggestions, and I'm welcome for board members, non-board members. It is always on the table. I mean, it's flexibility and that type of thing. Always open for discussion.
Okay.
And questions.
All righty.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
Hey, Steve, just a little bit. I guess it's good we keep talking about it, but I don't think anything's changing except things are getting worse. I mean, I don't want to get this Omicron variant. I've had both vaccinations and the booster, and it still feels risky. It seems like it's hitting younger people more than older people, and it seems like it's not as severe as the Delta variant. But nevertheless, I don't want to get sick. And I still think this notion of our being leaders and showing that by not meeting in person is sound, is a very sound thing to follow. So I'm opposed to meeting. And if we do, I think we should make people show their card that they've been vaccinated. And the reason why, different people interpret getting vaccinated differently. Take Aaron Rodgers, for example.
Yeah.
So the 4-way test is not the perfect test. Well, I mean, maybe it is the perfect test, but I'd like to see a card if I'm going to sit next to somebody.
Do you like the idea of trust but verify?
Yeah.
That's one thing I agree with Ronald Reagan about.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying though, I think that it's a very valid point, and I think we need to continually discuss it, like once a month discuss it, and to do what's right. But I know that February 1st, it's not, and I personally, I follow you. I really would not be comfortable as club president, and I think it would also involve me being in person. I think it would be hard to lead a meeting virtually on Zoom. It could be done, obviously, because we do it every week. But it would be better, I think, in person. I know I'm not at that stage yet where I'm comfortable in meeting in person.
Yeah.
So I can I wanted to share something real quick. So Medford Chamber just had their first in-person greeters meeting this morning, and I co-host that meeting. And they did a hybrid version. They had just an iPad. So it was a small screen. Cutting from the in-person meeting to the iPad screen like took a lot of energy out of the room. Like it's really hard to be like engaged. We were able to hear them. They were able to see us for the most part. It was kind of hard to hear, but it is difficult to do the hybrid version. And I think it's possible, but it's also you're not getting the same experience. I think that you're able to get so much fellowship from being online. I don't know. But it was also, it's a very different group of people. And so like I was one of like maybe a handful of people who was wearing my mask. Like I wore it the entire time, didn't really get close to anybody, but it's like, what is happening? We were inside, and anyway, some people just don't care.
It's kind of the way Texas is too. Jason said he went to a Rotary meeting there. He was the only one that walked in with a mask on, and Luden and his wife both had masks on, but nobody else.
Yeah.
But that is Texas.
Yes.
Well, and I'm glad
Which is
that
why
I'm
my
at
son
the-
went back to Texas, sadly.
I'm glad that I'm at the front of the room. Like I'm leading the meeting. I'm like, I'm not taking this off. Like, no. You can look at me sideways. I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I've kind of heard that
Good for you.
January and early February is probably when it's going to peak. So I think this would just be a natural time to just wait to see. And I'm hoping that, because it's going to peak and it's going to kind of in terms of hospitalization and death rates aren't supposed to be as high, that gives us a little bit of encouragement for meeting in the future.
Yeah.
So
the other thing to think about too is that while Omicron numbers are going up in our area, Delta is still the primary variant. It's still spreading around. So, and I think that's partly what's contributing to the hospitalizations. I haven't heard the numbers to know whether the folks who are in Asante hospitals right now with COVID have Delta or Omicron, but I know that Delta is still the primary variant in Southern Oregon at the moment anyway. I'm sure that'll change quickly, but and that obviously is a lot more severe. So yeah.
One of the things I know I talked about at the board meeting and with the membership is that we would have a survey, and I always like to think, well, I didn't forget it, to be clear that, okay, I considered it and decided that now is not the time, because even if we had, which I don't think would happen, a great number of people that said they wanted to attend in person, I'm not comfortable with it as a club president. And so but I don't think it would be, but I want to say I acknowledge people that I thought about the survey and I've decided to pass for now and, look at it maybe for February, but even then I find it, I wouldn't put my bets on it.
There's an aspect that Serena brought up that I'm sorry, did I speak over somebody? Okay.
No,
I was
it's
just gonna
okay.
say, thanks, Tony. I was thinking about togetherness and how up until Serena mentioned about the different energy in the room and the kind of two different quote unquote places that the subgroups were, it made me start thinking about at first I was always thinking, well, this will be great when we decide to do it, those who feel comfortable, and we probably would have some method of determining that in general, we're safe enough to try it. And then in particular, individuals would, choose whether or not to do that. And we would keep going on Zoom. And it didn't dawn on me until Serena alluded to it today, that really disturbs the idea of togetherness for me. So when I think about now, I'm not saying we all have to do one or the other. I'm sure there'll be a transition time, but I think we should wait until it's a lot safer before we end up doing what would be setting up two different groups. It would be a different experience.
My notes on the board agenda today, but I saw Highlight Lips in downtown, and she's a member of the Grants Pass Rotary Club. And I said, how are you enjoying the Rotary meetings? And she says, I'm not attending them right now. She says, I don't feel comfortable attending in-person meetings, and I don't find the sound quality and video quality to be that great for the meeting. Serena's talking about. And so I said, also overall, and she says, I don't know, let me check on that. So the club secretary, and I'm reading the notes, he said that they have about 30 at the live meeting at the Wild River Pub and about 15 on Zoom. So to me, that totals up to about 45. And she says, we used to have 40 to 50 on Zoom when we were meeting only virtual. So my comment was, we have to be careful what we ask for because you might get it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think we have a better opportunity at All Care. I think their equipment is top notch.
Yeah.
To make it happen. But there is something to be said. But even then, it doesn't matter what we think right now because we're not there. And it's,
Right.
And we're probably going if you want to say, okay, when's it going to happen? I think it's going the other way rather than toward.
Yeah.
And it can change as we found, and COVID's going to rule the day.
Quickly.
It's not going to be Rotary that rules the day.
Nope.
Yeah. And the other thing I was thinking about is as there are groups that try the hybrid, so we can have more reports from members of our club that are in these other groups and get a sense of not only the technology, how that works and things, but this idea of togetherness that I'm, just starting to let myself feel today kind of worries me. I mean, I'd rather have us all be together, even if it's separately on Zoom.
And it's actually not worked badly.
Yeah, I have been so pleasantly surprised at how well this has really worked for our club. And I mean, really well, if you consider, I am still kind of in shock at how many new members we've had join since we came onto Zoom. The number of new members that, many of us have not met in person because, they've been new, new to us through Zoom. That's, to me, is just incredible that not only have we been able to maintain, a great experience for our current club members, but that we've been able to recruit and engage so many new members, and they've been engaged. They've been engaged both on the Zoom meetings and when we've had in-person, service projects and different things. So so I think our club has done an excellent job with the virtual meetings, and we've got them kind of perfected a little bit. And would we all love to be back in person? Absolutely. But I think this works so well that I don't think we need to rush into anything.
Can I add a little bit to the
I think that's true.
Conversation about the hybrid meetings and everything and Hyla's comments and Serena's? I sort of had the same experience once or twice trying to have smaller meetings with 10 or so people, and some were online and some were on site, and sort of same experience. And it may be that when we do get to that point where we're doing some hybrid stuff, we maybe need to change the expectation of what the person online is going to, how they're going to be involved. And it may be that we just say, hey, you're here to see the meeting, but maybe that, the participation doesn't work very well. If a person can see and experience the meeting from live to online thing, but it maybe we need to, set the proper expectation of people when we get to that point.
Yeah.
That's good. I agree with what Gina Marie was saying. I think it's real important to be careful. And at some of the district meetings that I've been to, there are a lot of people want to know what our secret is about getting all the new members. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too. James, I was just thinking too, when we get back to in-person meetings, we should have pajamas optional because everybody's so used to that. And
we also need to have a couple treadmills set up in the back because we've got several members who are too used to walking their laps while they're in meetings. So.
Yeah. Or we could just put a track around.
Exactly. James can just do loops around the room.
I know.
We missed the fan. Oh, I guess there's not a fan there now. You must have moved things. I remember the fan from before. It used to make me dizzy.
Yeah, I don't like to walk under the fan when people are watching because of that very reason.
Oh.
I did get 7,600 during this meeting steps.
Wow.
Go James.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need.
And I think Suzanne was on her treadmill at the beginning, at least.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. But one other thing I was thinking about, similar to this togetherness theme that I'm thinking of today, but the safety. And one quote unquote possible secret that we might have that has to do with our attracting new members is they can feel safe. They're not worried about which person in the room is closest to them and whether they're wearing a mask or not, and whether they've been exposed to somebody else that they don't know because, of what their job is or whatever, what all the other things that are starting to go through our minds nowadays. And you can just relax and be at your site on Zoom, and you can feel safe to be in the meeting. Yeah. And that's another, I guess, feature that I'm thinking about, these kind of emotional, subjective kinds of things that might contribute to or detract from when we think we're ready to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I would also say that I think that we have some maybe they're secret weapons. Maybe they're just really helpful to have. But Gina Marie and Sally just being on it with providing tech support. Like for anybody who's like, I don't know what's going on, you guys are on it all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that is super helpful too. We don't have to worry about, like, even if you're not super tech savvy, we can figure it out. Thank you for being
That's
amazing,
good.
Gina Marie.
You're welcome. No, it's great too. Our club is just, I think the secret for our club is that we're flexible, to Steve's, word about being flexible and adaptable. And we all pitch in and support one another, and we give each other plenty of grace. So like, we're not expecting perfection. And I think that goes a long way.
I'm going to have to sign off.
Yeah,
Me
me
too.
too. So,
Okay.
but it's been good.
Happy New Year,
Always
everybody.
wonderful.
Yeah.
You too. Next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy New
Adios.
Year. Love you guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year. Bye, Serena. Talk